Kevin Glavin, good to see you here on Burgh Vivant, sir.
It's good to be here on Burgh Vivant.
In my opinion, I've got to tell you right off, you are one of the funniest people in Pittsburgh, I have to say.
Well, I know.
Stage,
thank you.
off stage. And I think, in opera, which is the medium in which you perform the most, I think a lot of people, you're hilarious on stage, but I think a lot of people, assume opera is sometimes stuffy and, things like, but it's so comedic. And that's something you absolutely tune into.
Yeah, well, that's my background was in comedy, and when I was first asked if I was going to do opera for a living, I studied with a woman named Claudia Pinza, and her father was a famous opera singer, Ezio Pinza. And when I started studying with her, she's like, "Oh, you have to sing the opera, Kevin. Your voice is perfect." And I said, "Opera? No. I wanted to go out to Vegas, and in the '70s, the Rat Pack was big, and that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I wanted to stand there with a drink in my hand and a cigar in another hand, and do shows and sing and tell jokes, and that didn't work."
What happened?
Well, she took me to Italy, and then all these Italians said, "No, you're an opera singer, you have to sing opera." And I was like, "Opera? I don't think I like it." And I didn't like it at the time. It was, like you said, it was stuffy, and I thought, and at that time, it was really stuffy.
Yeah.
Now we're sort of lightening up, but it was a very difficult time for a guy who was from Pittsburgh and known as a comedian to sit there and have people like, "What are you doing? No, this is opera. God bless it." And I'm like, "Oh, come on, get over yourselves. It's entertainment." I've done this role more than any role I've done in my career. And the first time I did it professionally was here in 1988.
Wow.
And since I had that opening, I've done this show 2 to 3 productions every year since '88.
Wow.
So it's become my piece.
And that is Don Bartolo?
Bartolo.
Bartolo?
Bartolo.
But now I imagine that the career of an opera performer, there's a lot of travel involved, not just nationally, but internationally. But for many years, you maintained that career and also were a business proprietor here in Pittsburgh.
Well, yes. I grew up in a family that was typical Pittsburgh. I grew up in the 60s, and my father was a union leader, and my uncles were bookies and club owners, and they all smoked cigars. And when I was a kid, I loved these guys. They were guys. They were all just, everybody looked up to them. And I loved that, so I always thought, boy, would I like to run a club or something if I could ever have a chance. So as I was traveling, a club was opening up, and I said to the president, I said, "Now listen, if you ever get out of this, I want to get in, so just let me know." Well, he already had somebody in mind, and I got home just in time, and I said, no. I'm taking over this club. So it was called the Young Men's Republican Club of Allegheny City. Now what's funny about this is I'm a good friend of Billy Hogrove's, and he's the voice of the Steelers. And so Billy, anytime he introduces me, I do a lot of charity golf outings. I like to golf, and so I will do certain things but Billy always asks me to do this outing with him. And he introduces me. He goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, international opera star Kevin Glavin, who's from Pittsburgh, and he's a proprietor of the Young Men's Republican Club of Allegheny City, where there's no young men and there's no Republicans."
You're a scene stealer. I mean, are you aware of this?
I don't know. But you know what? I really don't. It's funny because all my career, I just did what I did. And people say, "Oh my God, you have this thing when you walk out." I'm like, "What is it?" I don't know what it is. I really don't.
Hey, go with it.
And I think I've heard some actors say that, they call it the it factor. Either you have it or you don't. And for some reason I have it, and thank God I do.
It's instincts too, and that's something that can't be taught.
No.
I think you just kind of naturally have that comedic timing. You know what to do. You feel the pulse of your audience.
Yeah.
And that's what I see when I've seen you on stage.
And one thing I always tell people, if you ever want to go to an opera and you've never been to one, see the Barber of Seville first, because you will love it. I mean, the music's lively, and a lot of the tunes are from Bugs Bunny.
That's right.
My he stole them off of Rossini, but still. And but this show being updated into the 50s is really cool. My character, I'm going to play him like Louis B. Mayer. He was a big producer.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm very
back
familiar.
in the 50s.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm going to play him.
So it is set in the 1950s. That's the concept for this production.
And Rosina is like one of the big movie stars of the time. So she has like 90 costume changes.
Wow.
But it works perfectly with this opera, because the role of Bartolo really is. He's like the guy. So Louis B. Mayer was just like him. He wants everything done and
sort of like that club owner impresario that you
similar,
looked up
very
to for many years.
similar. Yeah. Yes. And then, but what's great about it too is, in this production, we're going to have a bunch of, we call them supers, extras, and they're all going to be doing costumes of different movies that they're going to be in, because we're doing it it's going to be like a set from the movies, so there'll be big cameras and lights around, and a bunch of guys moving stuff and costumes flying in and out. I have to say something else. It's my 30th anniversary with Pittsburgh Opera.
This is great.
30th anniversary.
How are we celebrating?
We'll have some cake.
I see you in the producers as the
A lot of people have asked me. Yeah,
role.
a lot of people said that to me, and I would like to try that sometime.
I think that's going to happen here in Pittsburgh.
I hope so.
We'll work on it. Now the word's out there. It's on record.
Yeah, I'm willing to do it. Hire me, please.
You've got a real challenge, though, in this production of Barber of Seville, because the Pittsburgh Opera got a lot of press recently because they were casting dogs in the show. Now, literal dogs. Bulldogs in particular.
I look like a bulldog.
Well, I asked your marketing guy, I said, why bulldogs? And he said, well, you know how they say some pets have to resemble their owners? Like,
didn't say that.
Yes!
Son of Yeah, the director told me there's a scene coming up that she wants them on stage with me for a while, and I'm like, well, they may get bored or something, or they may have to go boop.
Yeah, get your pooper.
Yeah, well, I'll tell somebody backstage.
Yeah, that's right. Hey.
I don't scoop the poop.